say what time?
7 p.m. Yeah, and they did draw the forecast back a little bit. It was supposed to rain like half an inch in 1 hour, and then they drew that back a little bit. So we're in between. All right, y'all are all set. Thanks.
We're all on?
You're on.
Okay. Hey y'all. I'm really glad y'all came out to Outdoor Chattanooga tonight, despite the weather forecast. However, if it is becomes Armageddon kind of thing, this will be a great topic to understand. Okay, good. Well, it's a small group in here, so I would love to kind of go around and introduce ourselves. I'll just start with me. My name's Terry Chapin, and I'm the program coordinator here at Outdoor Chattanooga. I've been here 12 years. I love outdoor education, and definitely I like this topic. I chose this topic to present tonight because I feel that there's a lot of people out there who use our trails and open spaces and natural areas that don't know how to properly poop in the woods or leave no trace for the most part.
2 steps to the right.
Okay.
Perfect.
But anyway, so this is Outdoor Chattanooga, and we are a division of the Parks and Outdoors division of the city. So we promote the outdoor recreation opportunities, and we do that through our online portal, the website, lots of information there, and also guided and equipped programming. So we're part of the Parks and Outdoors. Yeah. So I highly recommend checking out our program guide that will come out for spring and the summer here very, very soon. Anyway, so if you need to use any facilities during the program, restrooms are located there. We do have an exit over here. If you need to get out, you have to push the green button to exit. So let's go around the room and kind of quickly just introduce yourself and
Perfect. I'll go first. I'm Amy Marler, and I have with me Emma Darnell. We are both here representing Lakeport and Dogwood. So we're going to be speaking in just a little bit to kind of give you guys some information on the importance of nice.
I'm Wendy and this is Greg, and we're from the Hickson area. We just moved here 2 years ago, so we've just been coming to these classes to learn a little more about the area and hiking and outdoorsy stuff.
excellent.
I'm really good at research for that.
Well, my name is Laura. I'm a student at UTC. I'm studying outdoor recreation.
My name is Rachel. I just moved here like a month ago after learning with the area since 2018, and as a camper, van lifer sort of person, better, so
I'm Haley, and this is Sarah, and we are starting a hiking, backpacking, outdoor education summer camp for kids.
Oh, good.
And so we're like,
The more you know.
you
The more
know,
you know. Exactly. Good.
like,
Good.
we pooped in the woods, but you could always do better in the woods.
Yeah, so this is such a fun topic, especially to teach to children, and you can just have lots of fun with it. And hope you have fun with me tonight on it. Please do feel comfortable and ask any questions at any time, and that would be just kind of a back and forth here. But I've got some of the basics here. I'm going to talk about how to poop in the woods, and kind of it goes for both visiting front country and the back country. And so if you're not totally familiar with the difference between the two, front country is considered something that's easily accessible by vehicles. A lot of day use areas. It's got the developed campgrounds, like a wide range of visitors. Nature can call when you're in those areas, and you may find yourself away from a public restroom. Ideally, you will use the public restroom. We'll get to that, but the back country is in an area that is less accessible, typically wilderness designation, no facilities, nothing's really developed. So why do we even care to talk about this? Answering the call of nature. We really need to pay close attention to proper disposal of our waste because of water pollution. Can spread disease way too easily, and it just doesn't decompose very quickly. So, backcountry etiquette. I mean, this is so important. So, at the end of this class, you may learn a few new tricks, but one of the biggest things is sharing that with others. And you don't want to be the authority and be like, you're doing it wrong, and but just kind of help folks understand why we should dispose of their properly and other waste. It's all about the why. And we're going to also talk about, so doggy waste in addition to the human waste. So, fecal matters. Had fun with this for sure. All right, some questions here. How much poop does a human create in a day? Can anybody guess?
In what measure? I would say how are we measuring? In cups?
There you go.
Grams?
How many pounds of poop?
Big cups. Okay. What prize do we get when we're the closest?
I have prizes in the basket.
Okay. 1.25 pounds.
Anybody else guess? Yeah, about a pound of poop a day. Okay. Here's another one. How long does it take for human poop to decompose? Say in the outdoors. Say
25 years.
Well, they were eating salads or McDonald's.
yeah, depends on what they eat, right? About a year to biodegrade out there. So, when you start thinking about how heavily used some of these trails are, popular trails, Appalachian Trail, even Stringer's Ridge, you never know, yeah. All right, so how about for the doggies? Is this true or false? The average dog creates 274 pounds of poop per year.
Yeah. My dog
Yeah,
We have dinosaur poops in my house.
it's true. Yeah. Yeah, they leave about almost as much as a human, almost a pound of pet waste. Okay, try this again. I didn't. Yeah, got a lot going on right here. So we're kind of covering under the Leave No Trace principles here. And if you're not familiar with Leave No Trace, it's a national organization that's mostly privately funded that promotes the 7 principles of outdoor ethics. And the first is plan ahead, prepare. I mean, that should be our mantra for everything, right? The travel and camp on durable surfaces, that's just, if there is a paved trail, then use the paved trail. If you have a choice of tramping through, really pristine tundra versus the trail, you should probably stick to the trail. That's a whole nother class there. But they dispose of waste properly. I'm kind of leaning towards those principles and the research that they have done. This organization's been around since the 70s. They're pretty well versed. And then your other principles of leave no traces, leave what you find. You don't want to carry out very sensitive artifacts or that really awesome deer shed that maybe the next visitor would just really have fun geeking out onto. Plus, those are really wonderful for small animals to enjoy little calcium. what do you do? So here's like how your brain's gonna work, right? You're gonna guess, okay, is there a restroom? Is there not? Can you walk? This is just kind of fun. Oh, I'm blocking it again.
Watch the projector's mic. You see the students up in front of it. You're
Okay. All right, going number one, in the woods. Really, you remember, go 200 feet from water. That's about 70 adult steps away from your water source, away from the trail, away from your camp. You're gonna choose that. Going number one, literally poses very little health risks for the most part. Biggest things is the odor. So say you're hiking on Stringer's Ridge and you've got lots of runners that are just using it. You're gonna start smelling that if it hasn't rained in a while. And then another big thing with urine is you just really need to be considerate of where you're going because there are a lot of salts and minerals in urine that other animals are going to seek, especially during times of drought, and they may paw at a tree or an area and denude the area, kill a tree or cause other unsightly things. So it's really easy to just find a more discreet place to go, number one. And then when you're in other environments like the desert or alpine environments, there are other ways to dispose of here in the east, we're pretty lucky. You can pretty much go anywhere. We've got great soil. Your poop does matter. I found some interesting information about going in the ocean because I've heard some people thinking that was all right to do, just straight up going. There are a lot of viruses and things in our poo that just doesn't go away, and it can cause a lot of issues. And there's a handout here you can take home with you. It just takes a few viruses to get ourselves sick, and it just doesn't go away in the ocean here, or in the swimming pool, or in a cave. I have pictures here. In a cave environment, you're gonna want to carry it out. Number one, you're gonna use a bottle or a can or whatever, and you're gonna literally lid that and carry it out. Sometimes women need, there's a great product that can help discreetly use the bathroom a little bit easier in some places. When you're on a river or somewhere where there's a decent amount of flowing water, you can go in the river because that solution to that is, your pollution is dilution. So, there we go. And notice the swimming pool, it's an ool because there's no pee in it. Ha ha ha. All right, so number two, really, how do you do that? Same thing, 200 feet minimum, away from your campsite, away from water, away from the trail. And now let's consider kind of two different ways. Are you going to bury it or are you going to carry it? For the most part, it's a lot easier to bury it, and we're going to talk about that. There are some recreation areas where regulations are increasing and asking folks to use the wag bag where you actually carry it out. We'll go over that here in a minute. Again, that 200 feet, just drill that in your head. You want to make sure you're away from camp and water. This cat hole method, you're going to find a place, you're going to bury, or you're going to dig a hole at least 6 inches deep and about 4 to 6 inches wide, and that's your cat hole. All right, I'm going to use like a trowel. Here's photos of what it looks like. Here's my favorite on the orange handle here. They've written the directions, and they've even given it a name. super duper pooper scooper. There's a bunch of different types of trowels that you can get at the different outdoor stores. The one with the blue handle is not as pointy on the end, and it's way more difficult to use, FYI. I think this You Dig It one actually folds, and it goes pretty small, but it's just a simple, and this other green one is plastic. Sometimes those break pretty easy, just FYI too. Like simple garden trowel from the garden store, one that's pretty lightweight. I think works great. All right, so digging into your soil, this photo shows the duff layer, like the litter layer, just like the leaf on top. The duff is that crypto, like that nice soil with lots of organisms in it that's going to help break down the waste, and then your mineral soil. So you just really want to dig 6 inches. That gets you pretty deep into that duff layer. You may or may not see that very well in this picture. It's another kind of view of what it looks like getting through kind of that top mossy layer, then litter layer, and then down into the duff, into the soil. You don't want to go too deep either, because then it's less oxygen and less microorganisms that are going to break that. Just the duff. This is pretty funny. All right, so then once you've dug the hole, go. I thought it was really funny. There are different positions. But I mean, we all laugh, but I just had knee surgery, and you know, thinking about it, I would have to get pretty creative as well, because I may not be able to bend. Yeah, my knee. So anyway, but then you also have to be very careful. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, back to, like, again, why? I mean, we've all seen this picture. We've all seen this on the trail. Way too many traces. All right, so.
Who picks that up? Like if a trail's very dirty, who's in charge of doing that?
Like I don't think anybody picks it
Right.
up.
And
Yeah.
then just go, nature takes it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could be picked up. It's just not going to be a very fun thing. And sometimes scout groups or camps, or maybe like trail builders that are in an area for a long time, may choose to do like the trench latrine style versus, like, say you have 20 people in an area for a week. That's a lot of catholes being dug, and you may choose to use the latrine where it's like all in one row and you just kind of bury it as you go. I just put that up there because that is an option. But yeah, the toilet paper, for the most part, the research I have found, it seems that it takes about a month for toilet paper to decompose, whether it's exposed or buried. If it's just under a rock, it seems to decompose much slower. So you do want to get it kind of mixed into that soil. I prefer, and I think it's the smartest, to carry it out. Like, if you're going to carry it in, then carry it out. And I've got some cool tricks and secret ways that it's kind of easy to do. Or there's natural toilet paper. Yeah, I know people laugh, but you know, you go on these longer expeditions, and taking a roll of toilet paper and then carrying that kind of stuff out from these pristine environments, it's probably unlikely. You can get pretty creative. The snowball up there in the alpine environments. Certain leaves, just just make sure you know your plants really well, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. a fun little graphic, though. Again, I've got they're a little bit out of order, but like once you dig your hole and you make your drop, this is very important, especially with teaching kids. Do not use the trowel to stir back the soil. Use a stick. The trowel is only for digging. Okay, so you gotta really keep that trowel lean. This is something you really have to be very sure kids understand. And so that, like, we laugh about them writing the directions on the trowel, but that really does help. Putting that soil back in with your poo helps, again, introduce the bacteria and the microorganisms that are going to kind of help decompose that quicker. And here's an example. Again, kind of what that would look like. You would push your toilet paper down in there and kind of mix things in, and then that bottom picture shows when you've kind of covered it back up. Decorate the top so that should another camper, hiker, whoever nearby might recognize that that's humans done something there. Yeah. Or leave a stick sticking straight out of the hole there. All right. So, really, truly, the most important thing here is wash your hands. Again, we're trying to prevent the spread of disease, and yeah, wash, especially in the woods and while camping. Stay clean. So, you can use your water bottle and pour drip water, and have a friend help rinse. I showed a picture here of a wash system that on multi-day expeditions that I've been on is really helpful, or say you're in a camp area. It's just a 5-gallon bucket with a little foot pump that's pumping from the clean water, pumps down and into where your gray water falls in, and then you can dispose of that. And there's a bunch of different companies that sell those, or you can look it up and do the DIY. Pretty easy to make. A little drop of chlorine bleach in the water can also help keep things nice and disinfected. If you're a little concerned about the water source where you've pulled your water, like if you got it from kind of an iffy pond or whatever, you want to make sure that your hands stay clean. Considerations and where you dig your cat hole. Again, that 200 feet from water, which is how many steps? Human steps? About 70, yeah. Your location for maximum decomposition. Make sure it's 6 to 8 inches deep. Make sure you've considered the best choice. Is it toilet paper or natural TP, and what kind of environment you are in? And the most talked about consideration is really, have you chosen a good view for where you choose to live? It's true. All right. Oops. So I was going to do a little show and tell here. So let's pass these around. You want one? Yeah. So these are fiber bars, and yeah, there you go. Do a little show and tell. We'll take some volunteers here in about 30 minutes. I'm just kidding. That was just weird. Oh, wake up. Okay, let's go. All right, so the wag bag. We talked a little bit about the wag bag. So say like your land manager has asked you, you can't dig these holes. Here are 2 brands that are examples. There's the Go Anywhere toilet kit and the Biffy bag. And what's inside of this one is, I opened it earlier, comes out of this bag. It's this guy. set that aside. Inside they give you a little toilet paper, a little hand wipe. Ooh, thank you. And, there's some and ready, aim, fire. And then you would just wrap it up, and then you would put everything back in this bag and seal it up. This is this brand. Now let's.
And that just goes right into trash can, right? Because of the chemicals?
Kind of, sort of, kind of.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think what I have been reading, because I had that same question and I was trying to figure that out. I think it's best that you dispose of it in a proper location. Now, like whether or not you're going to find that, like where are you going to find that? I've never seen that anywhere I've hiked recently, you know. But again, these things are becoming more and more required by land managers, and I think you're going to see more disposal areas. Yeah. This one is, I like this bag better. They give you a bigger wipe, toilet paper. And it's again the bag within the bag, but this. I mean, I hope you have some time, you know, like you really have to go.
What? I guess you can pick it up.
You literally can tie it around your waist so it's a lot, you know, right?
And then your little business goes down to the bottom. Oh my God.
It's a toilet shape.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I know, isn't that funny? But, I mean, really, so I mean, a lot easier, I think, than like the ready that game. Try to aim the fire out of that.
There you go.
I know. And then, yeah, it's just gonna funnel in there better. And then it's got its poop powder to soak up the liquids. And ta-da. I know. So these are whack bags. I found them on Amazon. I think REI carries it, but I haven't seen it at the other outdoor stores around here. But here, we are in the southeast, and we do have really amazing soil around here. I do think, though, fast forward, you know, maybe another decade or two, I'm going to make the guess that we're probably going to see more requirements of these. Over with COVID, we saw how our outdoor spaces got loved and used. It's just more and more people, I think we're going to see the need to dispose of our waste even better. All right, so here it is. We kind of went over it. Yeah. But here are some examples of disposing human waste properly. That brown one looks like it's a national park, and then that could be another state park there on the left. I don't know. I have yet to run into any of that personally, but it makes sense because I believe it could go to, you know, if it goes to a regular trash can, it's going to go to the landfill. And I think if it's disposed of properly, then it's going to go through a heat process where then it will kill the pathogens. There are other ways to deal with waste. The luggable loo, you may see some of these with camping, yeah. The middle one with the baggie and the toilet seat, when I would camp with my kids, we'd use that and it worked pretty well. And this would be like, these are the groovers. If you've ever been on a multi-day river trip, I was lucky enough to go down the Grand Canyon recently, and that's what we used for 16 days. And it doesn't show the yellow bucket where you would number one in one bucket and number two in the other, and you tried to keep them separate because the urine could be easily tossed into the river. All right. More poop protocols. Any questions so far? Thoughts, ideas, stories? No? All right. So, very important for humans to be very cognizant of their waste. We don't want to share these pathogens with wildlife or with somebody else's puppy. And we don't want our puppies to share it with us either. So yeah, there's a lot of great information on that, and I want to have Mimi come up here and talk about.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Thank all of you guys for being here, and thank you, Outdoor Chattanooga, for having us. So again, my name is Mimi Marler, and I am here with Playcore, and specifically one of our brands, Dog Pot. So today, I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the important reasons for sticking up for picking up, even though I feel like everyone in this room and on the call is probably way more educated than the normal person on what they're doing now at this point. So here we go. Of course, we all love our dogs. We love to snuggle them, cuddle them, play with them. But unfortunately, with great love comes a very stinky responsibility. So it's our duty as dog owners to pick up their poo, whether we're in a public space or whether we're out hiking as well. So there are an estimated 90 million dogs in the U.S., which is equivalent to nearly 8 billion pounds of dog poop. It's a lot of dog poop. And a lot of that goes unpicked up, unfortunately. So just think of all the nastiness that is going around because people aren't being responsible pet owners. So let's make a difference. So the big why. So why do you need to pick up after your dogs? So reduce the risk of disease. We've talked a lot about diseases and nasty organisms and all the things. So the pet waste, it does carry bacteria, parasites, and viruses that can be harmful not only to humans and pets, but also our environment. And it contaminates our water. So this is why she says 200 feet, because it rains, it washes down into our streams and our rivers, and it gets into our stuff that we don't want. What were we talking about? Oysters?
Yeah.
Oysters, no.
Yeah, this handout talks about how, a lot of our unresolved waste that travels in the water systems into the oyster beds and their filters, we eat them.
I know, it's gross. And then just to be courteous, no one wants to look at it, no one wants to smell it, so just pick it up. So here's a fun session, fact or crap. So, raise your hand if you think dog waste is fertilizer. Yay, everyone wins. You are all right. So dog waste is toxic to soil. While wildlife feces, they eat the nutrients in the environment, so then it spreads the helpful seeds and things all around the environment. Dog waste is not. So dogs typically live off of a pet food, which brings in foreign organisms into the environment, which is not good. Let's go. Another one, it's too much work to pick up. Raise your hand if you think that's crap. Yes! So of course, it's not too much work to pick up. It does require some work, but it is worth it for our future, not just for our lives, but for our future generations. So it's a significant food source for rodents and mice. They like to go in and feast on those little nice bits of waste or food bits that did not properly get digested. It can also cause algae overgrowth that kills fish and wildlife, and it encourages invasive plants.
Who likes hiking where there's a lot of snakes? Okay, you bring the mice in, you bring the snakes in.
So why Doggy Pot? So we are a brand here locally. We're based in Chattanooga, our Playcore office, and so we provide way stations, smart little pickup bags, dog agility equipment, and then we like to pride ourselves on our educational backing and keeping our community healthy and clean. So, just in a recap, pet ownership is a big responsibility. So do our jobs, pick up after our pets. You can make us one small little choice makes a big difference on our entire community. So reduce risk of disease, reduce risk of pests, reduce water contamination, reduce odors, and do our part. So, thanks. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, we did bring some fun little giveaways for you guys too. So before y'all leave, make sure you grab some. We've got some fake poops, as well as they're very realistic fake poops, and some doggy waste bags and some fun things. So,
I have a question about Playboard.
oh yeah.
I recently found Playboard online because I was like, it's raining and I want to bring my dogs somewhere indoor to play. And then Playboard brought up, do you have indoor?
So, we don't have anything that's movable.
Okay.
So typically it's all made for outdoors. But we do get that question a lot, so I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. So maybe one day, but not today. Yeah, basket. All right, thanks everyone. All right.
Thanks. All right, so waste isn't just human waste. We've got to consider when you're camping, your food waste, little micro trash, like try to repackage food before you go out into the woods. If you're tearing off the top of your fiber bar, try to keep it intact so you don't lose the top and have micro trash blowing around. That makes sense. Yeah, our banana peel or orange peel, we like to consider that as also trash to carry it back out. Sure, it might decompose after like so many months, but it's also probably not a native fruit or whatever to the area, and it's going to attract critters and bigger critters and more critters, and then the person hiking behind you just an hour behind is not going to be happy to see that. So yeah, carry it all out. Dishwater waste, make sure that gets dispersed and not just poured into one place because there's little micro pieces of food, smells. What else do we do? What else is considered waste when we're out and visiting in these natural environments? Food waste, dish waste.
Also think about like shingles and lotions and stuff when you're in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yes, soaps, lotions,
Yeah.
bug sprays, a lot of things that can help us, but we need to just kind of maybe use that sparingly because, yeah, it gets into the water systems. It's all made out of chemical.
Or if you're washing in a water source, take the water away from the water source.
Yes, absolutely. You don't want to wash your dishes in the creek or in the pristine pond, but actually scoop some water out. Take it 200 feet from water and let it kind of work its way back through the soil and filter back. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Kind of. Any other questions? No. Yeah. It's just too complicated and unfortunate. Does a bear go in the woods? And now we know. Of course they do. All right. It's a fun one. But yeah, this is just the third principle, really, of leave no trace. So we've got lots more to talk about. If you have a group that wants Outdoor Chattanooga to help present, or you want a kind of a custom program, just let us know. So several of us are Leave No Trace master educators or have had that in the past and can help share the information. So here's a question for folks. What's a great way to teach the public, say who uses some of our trails, how to pick up after their dog? I mean, we can talk about it and have signs, please pick up after a dog, blah, 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 blah. Do you have any suggestions on encourage? I know. Like I'll see a doggy bag and then it's full and tied up and then just on the trail. Like
Think that we think you're gonna come back for it if you're around.
something like, yeah.
Now reducing friction to doing everything you want them to do, you know, like are there bags at the head of the trail that are for free? You can grab one on your way in. When a sign that says grab free, you probably will need more than one during your trip in.
Yeah.
You know, and just do that, and then maybe at different parts of the trail, they're unsightly and not part of the nature, but a bin or something to toss them in.
Yeah.
Even if it's a temporary, you know, like a giant Tupperware or something someone pulls out once a week or something, you know? Have the Boy Scouts or adopt a trail people just come grab it. It's easier to get it from one spot than all over.
Yeah. That is that. That's
I know Green Steps try, not the doggy waste, but they try to add like a loophole. And there's like not realized how often they ever do it. Yeah. I think people are trying, and they even provide bags, like prizes, you get a sign back, like they make some fun.
That was so much fun.
It's not there anymore.
Have you all heard of Green Steps? You're new, right? To Chattanooga area?
I don't think so.
It's still going on.
I was gonna say,
It's a program that, yeah, they put, they make it easy for people. They put trash bags and that kind of stuff, and all you gotta do is kind of social media picture yourself picking up the trash along that trail, and you can actually win prizes if you pick up after
All
others.
those, like different local companies all donated to be able to make goodie baskets that you can win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get a basket on everything. You just like pick up crap and everything, take a picture of you with the trash bag, and then they draw names.
Yeah.
It's like good gifts too. You can like gift cards to restaurants and stuff. But I think it's fun. I think they have a dump site at on the street, right? On the bridge, like at the end of the bridge. Isn't there a green dump site right there?
Maybe.
Trash can and the dumps.
Maybe. I have seen them on some of these more remote trails, and I'm like, yay.
There's one at Omaha.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Yeah. Good. I really appreciate you coming out and supporting this subject, and now you can share with others. Hope that fiber bar works eventually. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.